Hello everyone. I welcome you all for this live webinar. So today's topic will be efficient polygon practice. So we are going to see how useful the polygon is used in Altium Designer. Okay, I'm Rajeshwari, application engineer from PCB GraphTech. So let us go to the agenda. So here we are going to see first why we need to use the polygons on PCB. Second topic will be what are the different types of polygons we have in Altium Designer. And then we are going to see what is the difference between a polygon and the planes. Okay, how they work in the Altium software. So next one, we are going to see how to pour the polygons. Okay, how to pour the polygons based on your copper or based on your planes. And then we will see in detail about it. Then next is your polygon manager. So this is the place where we can handle everything for the polygons. Okay, we will see in detail later. Then we have the live demo. So demo, I will show you how to do it. Okay, so now we go to the first topic, why we need to use the polygons on the PCB. Okay, so normally there is a polygons on the power planes. If it is a ground plane or it is a power plane, so there is a polygons. So this polygon is used for suppression and is used to give the good return path of your signal from your transmitter to the receiver side and receiver to the transmitter, vice versa. Okay, so it is used in this case. When you go for the RF design, so the polygons can be used to create the transmission lines. Why we use for transmission line is because of high frequency circuits. So the polygon can be used as a transmission lines, which helps to handle to reduce the reflections. Okay, so next, when you go for the copper balance, so copper balancing is used to avoid your board warping. So when it avoids the board warping, we will get the good structure of your board. Okay, so that is the main purpose of copper balancing. And then the thermal management. So thermal management is mainly to avoid the overheating. So when the overheating happens in your board, okay, so normally the overheating occurs due to the components or due to the trace thickness. Okay, so in example, if you take a high-speed design circuits, so in that cases, based on your traces, if the thickness of your trace is very thin and the signal passing through it will cause excess heat and it will damage the trace. Okay, so to avoid this, we can go for the copper, or we can have a thick traces to be used. Okay, so we can do the heat maintenance by using the copper or thick trace, all these. Okay, so next one, we go to the types of polygons. So the first one we see is the solid polygon. So when you take the solid polygon, so the copper which is poured on the whole board, we can see here on the right hand side the picture. So the copper poured on the whole board, as well as it can fit to the pads with some approximations, and it can be it can give you a very good protection for your board from the surroundings, noise, all this. Okay, when you go for the hatched or outlined copper, so these two is a very good advantage of reducing saving your computing power. So meaning that when you go for hatched copper, so the hatched copper can be drawn in terms of vertical direction or horizontal direction, and it is mainly in terms of patterns. Okay, so it can be drawn in the 90-degree or 45-degree. So, and it can be vertical or horizontal. You can prefer your trace width, you can decide your grid size, all these. And this hatch pattern is mainly used for rigid flex designs. Okay, because you have a rigid circuit, you have a flex circuit. So this hatch pattern will help you to move comfortably from your rigid to the flex region when you use this pattern. Okay, so also it reduces your Gerber file size because of your minimum copper. Okay, so next one, we go for outlined copper. So outlined copper is only for your board outline. Okay, you can see, so there is only minimum copper, there is no copper inside. Okay, so this copper, the main advantage is when you're placing your component at your corners of your board, that is the edges of your board, it will not be affected by the noise or temperature. So those problems can be reduced when you're using the outline copper here. And then if you use the outline copper, it will also still reduce your computing power, and then it gives you less Gerber size file. Okay, so you can use, but still we use solid for the whole board, and in some cases you can also use the outline copper. Okay, next one, we go for the polygon versus plane. So we are going to see what is polygon and what is plane. Okay, normally we call copper is a polygon. Okay, you can either say polygon or we can call it as a copper. So it can be how it can be placed upward. It is normally a dynamic element. Okay, the polygon is a dynamic element. So when you pour the copper, it can be tied to any trace. Okay, when it tied to the trace, automatically they will interact with each other and then they will stick to the trace. Okay, so the trace will be combined to the polygon. Okay, so and it will give you a redefined shape. Okay, so this can be done when you're doing a polygon, since it is called a dynamic element. Okay, so when you go for the plane is a negative layer. Okay, it is default assigned as a negative layer inside the layer stack manager inside of our ITM. Okay, so when you use a plane and then if you want to pour a copper on it, so still the plane is already a copper, and if you pour a copper on the plane, automatically, so it will be removing the copper. Okay, it removes the copper and will be like a normal layer. Okay, that is the plane when you pour a copper on it. Okay, normally this is used in the legacy versions, but we are not using this anymore now. So this plane is called as a static element because it already has a copper sticked in it, is called as a static element. Okay, so next one, how to pour the polygons in your PCB boards. So when you want to pour the polygon, there is some order. Okay, if you consider I have a PCB board, and when we have a 5 polygons, 6 polygons, you can pour any number of polygons at any shapes or any different locations. But when you pour the polygon, first polygon will have the highest priority, and that polygon will have a desired shape. For example, you can see this picture. I have a small triangle here. This small triangle is my highest priority, and then first polygon here. So it gives a triangle shape. But when I pour the second polygon, you can see the second polygon is the big shape. So automatically when it touches the first polygon, so the second polygon does not meet the triangle shape. Okay, it doesn't meet the shape, but still it has modified its shape according to the first shape. Okay, so but it is not matching the shape of the first one because the first one has the highest priority. So compared to the second polygon. Similar thing when you see the below picture. So below picture, you can see the big triangle has the first priority. So this is the first polygon, so which has the triangle shape. So when you pour the second polygon, it will be automatically adjusted with the first polygon. Even though you draw the triangle shape, it will not give you the exact shape, but it will be automatically adjusted with the first triangle and it will not give the exact shape. Okay, so this is how you can pour the polygon and give the priorities will be based on the polygons you pour one by one. Okay, so next one, going to the connection to pad or wire. Okay, normally when you do the polygon pour, they should be connected to the pad or the wire. It can be a through-hole pad or it can be SMD pad, all these. So what happened when you do after the copper pour in the manufacturing side, they want to place the pad. They want to solder the pad. Okay, so surrounding is the copper, and exactly if they want to place the pad, by heating or soldering the pad inside that particular location, it will be default, it will be affected by the surrounding copper because we are placing the solder and then we are placing the pad or we are heating up that place. So surrounding of the copper will be sure affected. So to avoid this problem, what you can do is we can use some air gap between the pads. Okay, so when we provide the air gap between the pads and the copper, so you can reduce this problem. Okay, so this you can set it in your relief connect by going to your design rules. This can be done for through-hole pad, SMD pad, or wire connections. So when we do that, automatically there will be a gap so that the heat release will not affect your copper as well as your pad. So it will reduce your damage of your pads. Okay, so next one, we see what are the 5 key tools we need to consider in your polygon pour. So first one, when you have 2 different polygon shapes, if you want to combine them, okay, when you combine them, it will automatically merge and give a new shape. Okay, when you combine them, it will give a new shape. Then if you want to subtract the 2 polygons, one from the other, then it will redefine, okay, redefine the shape. So based on selection of your first and the second, priority of your polygons. So always the preference goes to first polygon, then only the second polygon. Okay, then modify the shape. If you want to modify your polygon shape, you can do that. So when you modify the polygon shape, you can determine the changes from the border itself. No need to draw another polygon. Just go for modify polygon and you can redraw the polygon shape at any size or any shape. And then you can also modify their edges, the corners, or the sides of tracks or arcs. All this you can modify. Later I will show you how to do all these in the demo. Okay, so finally you can also create your polygon from the selected objects. So this one you can do for mainly for RF design, high frequency circuits. So here in this high frequency circuits, this is mainly what we say is to reduce your reflections or reduce your crosstalk or electromagnetic interference issues. What you can do is you can draw the trace shape and then apply the polygon in that particular area. So automatically the transmission lines will become as a copper, and it will act as a suitable circuit for reducing your crosstalk or reducing your reflections, all this. Okay, so you can see the picture here, the second picture. So this is what done here. We draw the trace here and then it is fully occupied by the polygon in this location. Okay, so next one, we go for polygon manager. So very, very important feature we have in Altium. So this polygon manager is the place where we can have the high level view of all the polygons. Give me a minute. Okay, so this one later I will answer your question. So high level view of the polygons, meaning that, so what are the things you can view is, we can view the name of the polygon, we can see the layers, in which layer the polygon is poured, you can see which polygons are shelved here, and we can see if the polygon is modified or locked, and if ignoring the DRC, all this you can see here. Also, we can create your new rules. Okay, you can see create a clearance rule, or you can create your polygon connect style rule, or you can create your polygon class, create your own polygon. So all you can do it here. Okay, so from the polygon manager itself, you can create your new polygons. Okay, followed by below, you see the polygon port. So this is the priority order the polygon is port. Okay, so first one priority, highest priority is ground. So then 9_ground. So this is the highest priority. So based on the priority, we can see the polygons. And then if you want to change the priority level of the polygons, you can move up or move down. Okay, so this will change the order of the polygon priorities. Okay, so all you can do is you can also delete the polygons if you want to remove the polygon directly from the polygon manager. So you can do, so you can give the rules, shelve the polygon. So shelving the polygon means, it doesn't mean that you're deleting the polygon. It's like that you're hiding the polygon for some reason, and once you do the changes, you can regain the polygon again. Okay, so next one, you can name the polygon and the layer, you can view it, then the pour order, all this you can see here. Next one, additional tools. So in the additional tools, we are going to see how to do the wire stitching and wire shielding, because this wire stitching and wire shielding is done for high frequency circuits. For example, first we go for wire stitching. So wire stitching is nothing but used in your high frequency design or high speed design applications. Mainly it is done on the polygon polygons. So when you use this wire stitching, what is the main advantage is it will reduce the reflections of your signal. Okay, so and it also reduces the noise. Okay, but if you don't have the polygon in that particular region of PCB, it will not do the wire stitching. Okay, so the wire stitching will be like a vertical barrier, okay, from one layer to other layer of the PCB. Okay, that is the main purpose of this wire stitching. For the whole board you can do it, but there should be a copper tied to this wire stitching net. That is very important. Okay, when you go for wire shielding, so this wire shielding is again used for high speed design and high frequency design circuits. Like it is used for suppression of your crosstalk or EMA along the high speed trace. Okay, if you have a high speed trace and if you want to give the reduce the crosstalk or EMI interference for that particular trace which is carrying high speed signal, you can go for wire shielding. Okay, this wire shielding will be like a fence. It will be like a fence. You can see in the second picture here. So that the wires are like a fence arranged to going from one layer to the other layer between the planes, and then it will reduce the coupling between the two layers. Okay, as well as it will reduce the return path loss, the EMI interference, all these. Okay, so that is the main advantage of this wire shielding, but you should be more careful when you're placing the wire shielding, the spacing. Okay, because the wire spacing is the wire spacing is very important. When the spacing is not properly designed, automatically there will be two problems will occur. So one problem is like there will be a distortion. Okay, signal will be distorted since the wires are not properly spaced. Then there will be also re-radiating of your signal. Okay, so these two problems can occur when the wires are not properly spaced in the fence. Okay, you should take care of it also. Okay, now we'll go for the demo. Okay, let me go for the demo here. So here I have a circuit. So I'm going to do the polygon pole and show you how it works first. So I have taken this area and I have a V-in net not connected here. So I'm going to do the polygon pole. So you can do the polygon pole by going to place polygon pole. You can do this way, or you can just press the shortcut PG. Okay, polygon, place P, polygon pole, the G is underlined. So you can use PG. Okay, I just go to polygon pole here. So I'm going to draw the polygon pole from here to here. You can see when I draw the polygon pole, you can see below in the status bar, it is following any angle here. Okay, so I just draw the polygon pole here, some angle, then I move here, and then if I want to change, for example, I want to change to some other angle. You see, when I move, I can see it is going to an angle of 45 degree. Okay, I press shift space bar to change. Okay, if I want 45 degree with arc or all these things. Okay, so now again shift space bar, you can see the vertical line. Okay, 90 by 90. Again shift space bar, you can see in the status bar, it is showing the vertical arc, all this. Okay, so you can choose what you want. So now again I go to any angle, then I try to click here. Okay, once I click, right click, come out of it. So after I draw, you can see there is a polygon I have drawn. Okay, so there is a polygon created here, but it is not connected to any net. I can show you, I click here, you see there is a polygon. Okay, so this is the polygon I have created, but with no net. Okay, so double click on the polygon, you will see in the properties panel here, the polygon pole. So now when you're coming down, it says it is connected to no net. Okay, I need to connect it to some net. So I change here to V-in net because I want to connect it to V-in here. So I go to V-in net. So when I connect to V-in, automatically you see here the net it doesn't show the rat list. It is connected here automatically to the polygon. And then coming below, you can see the name. It creates the own name of the polygon. So if you don't want this name, you want to create your own name, you can just give it out. Okay, so I go with the default name. Coming below, you can also see it's a solid polygon. Okay, so solid polygon, it occupies and it is created in this area. And if I want to change this solid polygon to hatched, you can see the hatched lines, okay, because below the hatch, you see it is horizontal. Okay, based on the pattern, it will show you the polygon here. Okay, since it is horizontal hatch pattern, you can see the lines. Then if you want to change to none, you can change. That is nothing but outline. Okay, so you can also go for outline, board outline polygon. So if board outline means only there will be a line, you can see there is a arcs here. Okay, so outlines. So you can also do this. Now I go again with the solid polygon itself. So coming below, you can change this to, I used to follow 4 over same net objects. So I just go with it. Okay, so once done, I just want to click here. Okay, so now you can see here, I have done the polygon pore here. So I have created the polygon pore and it is drawn this shape. Okay, from here to here. So once I done the polygon, now let me go here and then you can see inside this, I have some copper. Okay, this copper does not touches to outside of any polygon, my outside polygon. So it is created with this empty area. Okay, so this is some dead copper. I don't want it here. I want to remove it because it will affect my board when I have unnecessarily there is a copper inside. Okay, so I want to remove this. So what I'm going to do, I just click on the copper here. So when I click on the copper, the properties open. Now you see here, this copper I want to remove. So I just click on remove dead copper. So when I click on the remove dead copper, so the dead copper which was available in this area will be removed. Okay, that is the main purpose. So once the dead copper is removed, now I got it clear. But when I zoom here, I could see there is a copper peninsula island. Okay, this is called the peninsula island, small area I have, but actually the copper is outside, but some copper goes inside, which is unnecessary. I don't want it. So I need to remove this. If I don't remove, it will affect my signal it will affect in the signal integrity cases. Okay, so how it will affect is it will create some resonating loops. Okay, because of this copper, it will create the resonating loops and it will cause some problems. So I need to remove this peninsula area. So if I want to remove, I just going to select this and I'm going to drag. Okay, I'm going to move this copper here. Okay, I'm just going to move this copper a little bit here. Let me just move it here. You can see I'm just moving it here. Okay, I'm still, okay, you can see. So when I try to move, I don't see the peninsula area here. I just moved it. But please see here, once I moved it, I see my VIN is no more connected. Okay, so the net is not connected. So to connect it, what I'm going to do, I'm no need to remove this copper. I can just modify the copper. Okay, this is what I was saying before, how to modify the copper shape. So I just select this, right click, you can go for polygon actions, and then you can see there is a modify polygon border. Okay, so click on polygon border and then you can draw the polygon shape. You can see here, you can draw from where to where you want. So I just go here, from here to here. I just zoom and show you. I just draw from here to here. Okay, you can draw from. So when it touches the line, it will automatically see it is creating the copper here. So right click, come out of it. Now you see the polygon is created. And then automatically you see it is connected to the net, VIN net. Okay, so this is modifying. So you can modify the shape just by drawing the modify polygon border. Okay, it automatically connected. This is one method you can do. Or if you don't want, if you want to draw your own polygon shape, you can also do that. So let me show you that method. So I want to again go for polygon pore. So I use the shortcut place PG, place polygon pore, and I want to draw one more copper here. Okay, so I just go to here and then I just draw here. Okay, so once I done, so right click, come out of it. So now you can see, even though I draw the copper from here to here, they automatically create the gap and then they create the shape. Okay, so this is the very good feature we have. Instead of overlapping all this, they go to the default clearance. Okay, and then now you can see this copper does not touch your VNet. The reason is the copper I have drawn with no net. If I double click here, you can see the properties on the polygon pore. So it is no net and the layer 1. Okay, so this is the one I have drawn. So it is not connected to any net. Okay, that's why it doesn't show any connections with this VNet. Okay, so now if I want to connect it, okay, I want to connect this copper and this copper together, combine them. So how to combine them? So first is very important is the priority. Let me select this as the first priority and hold the shift key, select the second priority. Okay, so the first priority goes to this no net copper. Second priority goes to VN copper. So right click, go for polygon actions, and then we can do combine selected polygons. Okay, when you combine them, you can see they are combined. So both the polygons are combined, but you can see the VNet is not connected. So why they are not connected? My first priority is this polygon, which is connected to no net. Okay, so the second polygon also follows the first polygon priority, so that when combined, the second polygon also becomes with no net. Okay, so now I'm going to do the second method. So I give the priority to this polygon first. Okay, so hold the shift key, select the second one. So the first priority goes to VNet, this polygon. So again, right click the polygon action, then combine the selected polygons. Now you will see that the VNets are connected to each other. So this is very important. When you're doing the polygon pore, the selection of net is very, very important. Which polygon you're selecting first, it will go on the priority basis. Okay, so now I want to adjust the borders. Okay, adjust the corners, all this. So if you want to do that, you can click on this. Now you can see here, so that it's a sharp corner. If you want to adjust this corner, you can drag. You see, when I drag it, you can see in the status bar showing is metering to arc. If I change this, it will change to line. Again, shift space bar, metering to segment. Shift space bar to arc. So you can change it like this. So it will automatically redefine your border shape. Okay, so you can zoom into the level and then you can redefine the shape how you want. Okay, nicer shape. You can redefine it on the corners. So just you can draw the shapes. Okay, so it will be clean and neat how you want to draw. Okay, you got the nice shape at the corners. Okay, this is one method of drawing in the copper. Next one we are going to see is I'm going to draw one more polygon here and then show you how to assign the priority. Okay, front to back or back to front. So to do that, let me draw a copper here. Again, P, G. So I'm going to draw the polygon here. So in this area. Okay, so I have drawn the polygon and then you see it is connected to no net. Okay, so it is connected to no net, but if I change to connect to ground net, you see what happens. So I still same, because even though if I connect to ground, based on the priority, it doesn't change connecting to the ground to ground. Okay, the grounds are not connected. So if you want to make it connected, you have to select it and right click, go to the polygon actions. You will see there is a bring to front. So meaning that you have to bring the polygon to the front. Okay, so using this option, you can see the changes. You see, they are directly connected to the ground. Okay, so this is one method, you can do that. So next method is, instead of doing this, I want to do it in the polygon manager. Okay, so you can do that directly by going to tools, polygon pore, polygon manager. Okay, so when you go to the polygon manager, you can see here the first one, view or edit. You can see the different names of the polygons, whatever we have, and what is the area. This is the new feature we have now. You can see the area which was not available in the earlier versions. Now you can see the area of the polygon and then the net connected, and if which polygon is shelved, that is hide it, and which is modified, log, which is ignore the online DRC. All this you can see here. Next one, You can checkbox by checkbox, we can activate it. Then you can also shell the polygon. Again, you can create a new clearance rule, connect style. You can create a new polygon directly from the polygon manager. Okay, so now coming to the pour order, you can see the first priority is the ground underscore L01. This is the highest priority. So then followed by one priorities we have. Now the least priority is the one we have drawn, the last one, which is the least priority. If you want to change the priority level, okay, I want to bring this before V in. Just now I draw this V in. I want to bring the priority before this V in. So you can move up or move down. So, or you can also drag it. Just drag about it. Okay. Above, if you drag, it will become there. Then you can just click OK. Okay. Let me change. Let's click OK. You see, it has changed to connected. Okay. So this is one method you can do it. And then again in the tool polygon manager, one more feature we have that if you want to create the connect style. Okay, now we have the connect style, different connect style. Okay, as I told you, connecting the copper to the pads or wires is very important. So to reduce the heat, all these problems, if you want to connect the copper to the through hole pad or SMD pad by your relief connect or all this, you can go for new connect style and do it. Okay, so where I'm going to show you this feature is here. In this V-in, you can see the copper, the pad is directly connected to the copper here. So I'm going to do the relief connect here. Okay, so that meaning that you can have an air gap between the pad and the copper. So to do that, again, I go to the polygon manager. Here I have a new connect style. Okay, this is from the design rule. So directly you can do from the polygon manager, new connect style. You can give the name as new. So the default polygon is name polygon. This polygon is selected. Okay, and then you can see the relief connect. Okay, so I think you need to select, sorry, I did a mistake. I need to select this. Okay, I need to select and then do. Okay, so V internal for this only I'm doing it. So connect new style. Now you see L1 V in here. Give the name as new. Then you can see below the constraint. Okay, if it is a through hole pad or SMD pad, I'm going to use the relief connect with an angle of 90 degree. Okay, I'm not going to change anything here. Follow the default settings. Just click OK. Okay, and then click OK. You don't see any changes. So when you will see changes is you have to click, right click, go for polygon actions, re-pour selected. Okay, when you select the, you see, when you do re-pour selected, automatically the relief connect occurs. Okay, so this is the good advantage we have all in one place, that is called your polygon manager, where you can do all these. Okay, so now we go for the next feature. The next feature is I'm going to do the wire stitching. Okay, so wire stitching and shielding. So the wire stitching is how to do the wire stitching. The wire stitching, as I told you, is mainly a vertical barrier, and that will be connected to the copper only. If there is no copper, it will not do wire stitching. So I select this here. I'm going to select this polygon, go to tools, wire stitching, add stitching to the net. Okay, so choose this. Now you can see here already I selected the area, and then I'm going to select the hole size, the diameter. You can choose it either from the rules or you can give your own hole size and diameter size of the wire. And then the grid spacing is important between the wires, as I told, to avoid the distortion or re-radiating of signals. Then the template, drill pair, then you should be connected to the net. Okay, I'm default going to use the ground net. So I connect it with the ground net and click OK. So when I click OK, you can see that there are 128 stitching wires added to ground net. Okay, it's very important. So the wire stitching net and the net in the copper should be the same net. If they are different, it will not do on it. Okay, that is very important. You can see wherever you have the ground net connected to the copper, it will create the wire stitching there. Okay, so this is about your wire stitching. Then the next feature is the wire shielding. So the wire shielding, let me open this layer, and then shielding is done only for the trace, high speed signal trace. as a fence. It acts as a fence to avoid the EMI interference or the return path loss. That is the main purpose. So let me select the net here. Okay, I just select the net, and then you can go for tools, wire stitching or shielding, add shielding to net. Then when you add shielding to net, you can see on the top, net to shield. Since I selected FB net already, it is showing the selected net here. Okay, and if you want to have the number of rows of wires, you can select how many rows you want, you can select it. Okay, so based on that, it will select the number of rows of wires to do the shielding for the net. Okay, and then again the hole size or wire size, hole size and the diameter size of the wire, you can select it. Then followed by, you can use the drill pair, then the ground net. Okay, all this I follow the default the same. Then click OK. Okay, once I click OK, you can see 88 shielding wires added to net FB. So now you can see the fence wires. Okay, these fence wires are mainly added to protect your signal passing through this FB net. So meaning that if there is any leakage, leakage of the signal, it will not allow to be coupling between the layers. So these wires will protect your signal passing through this net. That is the main advantage of this wire shielding, mainly for high-speed applications. Okay. So I think I completed all. Thank you very much for attending the webinar. If you have any questions, you can email to sales@pcbgt.com.sg. If you have any questions, we can answer you through email also. So thank you for attending. See you in the next webinar.